Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Like I said last time, I'm by the names Pharmacy again or what? And yes, like I told you last time, that the purpose of the channel was to give you very informative and educative videos. So today I've come to give you a brief introduction on what a computer is. So you'd ask yourself, what is a computer? Okay, for you to be able to know a thing, you need to first know what exactly it is. Okay, so by definition, a computer is an electronic device that accepts data and processes it under sets of instructions or special instructions to give you a desired or meaningful information or output. Okay, so, just like I told you last time, that computers have undergone a series of evolution from the first generation up to the present and the future, or the fifth generation, where we see ourselves at and we see ourselves going in. So, like I said before, in this generation, you're going to be finding things like the laptop, the smartphones, the AI, the quantum computing, and so on and so forth. So you ask yourself, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of these gadgets that we are using? Because now, at least by definition, you've gotten to know that even the smartphone that you're carrying is a laptop. Okay, so number one is that they are very portable. That's why someone can just carry a laptop in the size of a smartphone and put it in the pocket or in the bag and carry it wherever they wish to go. Unlike the first generation computers that I told you that were very big even in size. Okay, so number one is that they're very portable. But also number two is that they're very fast when carrying out their operations or their functions, to the extent that it's even measured in terms of millions of instructions per second. Okay, that is just how fast they are. And also another advantage is that they have a large storage. So for example, you're on a laptop, you can be doing some work, maybe let's say on Microsoft Word, and you feel it's not done, you can just save it and leave it there. The computer stores for you. Or even when you're done and you decide to still store your information in the computer, there are still provisions because the space is as large enough that you need. And then another thing is that they're very accurate, except when you put in wrong information. But every time you put in right information, you always get accurate answers. But just like the saying goes, that garbage in, garbage out. When you put in wrong information or wrong data, that means you're going to get wrong output. Okay, but otherwise it's very accurate, and it's also diligent in its work, in that depending on what you ask it to do is exactly what it's going to do without even complaining. Having looked at all these advantages of the computer, it also has a bit of limitations with it. For example, even the errors that we talked about, okay, that when you put in, garbage out, it's still going to bring for you wrong information when you put in wrong data. Okay, so that is a limitation because it's not like humans. Okay, and another thing also is that it's not able to think because it does not carry knowledge, the ability to judge. So it does not think. Whatever you put in is exactly the kind of output you will be expecting from the computer. And another thing is that they cannot make decisions. Okay, so those already are limitations, are some of the limitations when it comes to the use of computers. And even today, I also wanted to show you a few things. when it comes to the computers, at least now we've gotten to know the definition. What do they mean? What are some of the advantages? Where did they come from? Yeah. So the next thing, we are going to talk about the desktop. For example, on your screen, you can see this space. Okay. So this is my desktop. This is my desktop. This whole screen. Yes. So here we have taskbars and icons. That is something very important for you to note, that even when you open the computer, for example, let's start with the icons. Now the icons they're like features or pictures representing the very thing for which they stand for. Okay. For example, when you see this, it's just written W. But it's an icon for WPS Office. Okay. Same way we have WPS PDF, we have my loft. Okay. All these are icons. And under icons, we have shortcuts as well. That for when you see an icon that has an arrow, usually they're like shortcuts. That, for example, if you wanted to find that folder, when you tap onto that, the icon that has a shortcut that has an arrow, it usually gives you a shortcut of where to find that file. Okay, and then we also have taskbars. They are here. Now I've given you examples of icons, right? For example, these files that are here, the recycle bin, all of these are what? Are icons. Coming down here, let's talk about the taskbars. Usually they're below the screen, they're down with a few exceptions. So when we come here, this is the start menu, okay? The start menu. And when you tap on it, okay, it's usually here. Come here. You'll be able to find here three icons. There is the sleep button, there is the shutdown button, and the restart button. Now, all of these three buttons are very, very important. They're not just there for a mistake. When you tap on let's start from down, from the restart button, it means the computer is going to close and open again. And this is very important. Why? Because sometimes you realize maybe the computer is slow. And it could be because maybe it has never been worked. So when you restart, it refreshes the computer. Okay. And then the shutdown, of course, you know what it means by shutting down. It means that the computer is going to close. And then the sleep button, when you tap on it, the computer usually goes to sleep, what we also refer to as the warm booting. Now, that does not mean that the computer has been switched off. The screen is the one that goes off, but literally the computer is on. So it's also very important because maybe you're at work, I don't know, maybe you're at school and you started on something, some work, and you didn't finish. You can just tap on the sleep button. Maybe you go for lunch or you go for breakfast, then you come back. You don't need to leave your screen hanging for everybody to see what you were doing. You can tap on the sleep button and then the computer goes to sleep. So when you come back and tap on it, it's still where it was. But of course, you need to have saved what you're doing so that in case of things like power off, you still have your content intact. Okay, so we come to the second taskbar, that is the search button. When you tap on it, it gives you the option to search. Now, sometimes you have so many files on your desktop and there is this particular one that you need. So when you come and tap on the search taskbar down here, it gives you the option to search the file that you need. So you can tap on it and look for the file that you need and it will bring it to you as quick as possible. Okay, and then there are also other taskbars that are down here. For example, this is there are these files that are just down here, like the pinned. We have the pinned apps and the open apps. For example, there is this at the moment I'm I'm maybe doing a recording, for example. Let's say I'm doing a recording. So maybe when I'm done or when I minimize, you realize that the file comes down here. So I can be able to find it here. And then we also have the pinned apps that are here, and they're here for you to have easy access to them. For example, the browser, the explorer, all of these are down here. Now when you come to the extreme end, the side, you find what I love to call the system tray. Okay, these are small icons that are here. They're usually on the right hand side, where you find things like the Wi-Fi, the volume, the battery. Okay, that is left. So that is it when it comes to icons and taskbars. So maybe the last thing that I would maybe show you before I go off is how to create a folder, because now we've seen that maybe these are my files. I have some files that are here, and maybe they're scattered. Yes, so I want to organize them, and the best way to do it is to create folders and put the files, group them according to what I want or according to where they belong. So that, for example, if I come and I need to look for certain kind of files, I can find them in certain kind of folders. I don't need to keep the files all scattered on the desktop, okay? So I come to the open space on the desktop where you're seeing, for example, my cursor is where I'm going to do it. This is my empty space. So you right click on the empty space on the desktop, and when you right click, it brings you many options, okay, of view, sort by, refresh. So me, what I want is a new folder, so I'll tap on new. Now when you tap on new, it also brings you many other lists here. You're seeing folder, you're seeing shortcut options, you're seeing Microsoft Access database, you're seeing bitmap image. But me, what I want is a new folder. So you come and click on the folder, and the folder appears there. Now, what makes you is your identification. So I cannot just leave the folder like that. I have to name it, okay? So I come here and I press my cursor inside here, okay? And then I press my cursor inside here, and then I backspace or I delete the words that are here, okay? Then I name it, okay? Maybe I have files that are in terms of academic documents, maybe for kids, for playing for kids, there are files like that. So I can decide to come and name it here for kids. Okay, I type. Now when you finish, you can either press on enter or press outside the file and the folder. Okay, so when you do that, you realize that you have created your folder. Now if you want to move a file to the folder, okay, so let's choose the file. Maybe if I had something for kids, let us say that maybe this was the one, okay? What you do is you left click on it, on the file, okay? And then you drag it to the folder. Now you see that it disappeared from the screen and it is inside the folder, because when you double tap on it to open, you see that it's inside here. You see the WPS PDF is here, okay? And the title is for kids. So that basically is how we create a folder. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have been able to learn from this video. So thank you so much. And again, like I said, for those that have not subscribed, please click on the subscription button, and for those that have not liked, like, so that even in the next video that I bring in, you're going to not be able to miss any of it, because it will come in your inbox as a notification when next there's another video. I hope you have benefited from this. I hope you have been able to learn something from this video. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.